But I also want to say to the anti-vax campaigners, the people who are putting this mumbo jumbo on social media, they are completely wrong. And you haven't heard me say that before, because I think it's important that we, I want a voluntary approach in this country, and we're going to keep a voluntary approach. I believe in doing things through everybody working together and seeing the vital importance of vaccination. And we've got much higher rates of vaccination in this country thanks to that community-led voluntary approach. That's a wonderful thing. Other European countries are going for coercion. But what a tragedy that we've got all this pressure on the NHS, all the difficulties that our doctors and nurses are experiencing. And you've got people out there spouting complete nonsense about a vaccination. They are totally wrong. And I think it's time that government, call them out on what they're doing. It is absolutely wrong. It's totally counterproductive. And the stuff they're putting out on social media is complete mumbo jumbo.
In a typical winter's day, between 200 people and 350 people will die of flu. Do we hide behind our masks? Do we lurk at home, working from home? Do we demand that people provide their bona fides before going to a venue? Do we require people to be vaccinated as a condition of keeping their jobs? The question is whether the measures before us today are proportionate actually comes down to a matter of opinion. Do you take seriously some of the extraordinary extrapolations that we've been given, particularly given the record of before? The fact that these are things that might take place, and we have to balance that against the known costs and damage to enterprise, economy and society. And in the end, it comes down to a matter of opinion, a matter of our prejudice. And we are typically capable of organising our lives and making those decisions for ourselves. We decide what our risk appetite is and what we're prepared to encounter and what we're prepared to not. Notwithstanding the carnage on our roads, certainly killing more people than COVID at the moment, some of us still decide to drive. It's a matter of opinion. So it comes down to letting loose the dogs of war. Get the fear factor into it. Get the members of the officials, the members of SAGE, the members of Independent SAGE, of SPI-M, all those, of course, speaking in their own private capacity. Get them out there twisting the fear lever. What about the Health Protection Agency? What Stalinist minds thought up that nomenclature? Get them out there twisting the fear button, and by and large, you will get the reaction that you want. People will crave more enforcement and more fiercer measures to protect them from this great danger that is out there. The government, having administered this ministry of fear, is absolutely complicit with its officials and its organisations that have designed it and delivered it. They have abandoned in doing that any principle of social democracy, of liberal democracy, absolutely beyond anything that we've endured in recent living memory in the history of this pandemic. And as a consequence, having abandoned what might have been their ideology, they are rudderless. And as a consequence of that, so much more at risk of the opinions and predictions of the advisers to which they are in hock.
We are taking away the public's right to choose what they do based on flimsy and uncertain evidence. We don't know the extent to which this new variant will escape the vaccines. We don't know how harmful it would be. Free spirits with a soul. People who deserve the dignity of choice and the meaning in our lives which comes from taking responsibility. The public are not fools. We're not here to govern idiots. I have faith in the British public. I have faith that they can choose for themselves to do the right thing, to wear a mask when it's sensible, to pay attention to the level of cases, to choose for themselves whether or not they go to a restaurant, and so on and so on. Indeed, to choose whether they go and visit vulnerable relations in care homes. There's a sad story I could tell about that. I believe that there is no plausible path set out before us which leads to a genuine public health emergency, and yet the government is choosing to react in the way that it has. So I think, as a result, the government, I'm afraid, once again, is choosing that downward path towards, frankly, hell. The hell of minute management of our lives by edict, with nothing we can do about it, and not even a say in advance in Parliament. And incredibly, a clear majority of this House is going along with it. I, for one, intend to chart a course towards heaven, and I hope honourable members will come with me.